Okay, so now for our dish, we're going to prep the cauliflower. So cauliflower can be a little intimidating for people sometimes, I feel like, so I cut one in half so you can kind of see what we're working with, because cauliflower has a lot of great nutritional benefits. It also is very versatile. You can do a lot of things with it, but people don't want to use the ingredient because they're not really sure what to do with it from this stage, right? So I've cut the cauliflower in half, right? I haven't done anything else to it, okay? And the reason why I'm showing this to you is that what people really want is they're going to want that flowerette. So that flowerette is going to be the top part that kind of comes out. And I got the purple cauliflower to use as the example so you can kind of see the definition and the difference, right? All white cauliflower, while easier to find and just as tasty, will not help us kind of understand what we're working with here. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to just kind of take my hand, I'm going to pull off some of these leaf, okay, like so, and just kind of get that stuff out of my way, all right? And we're not going to worry about every little thing here because a lot of this is going to come off with the core piece that we have right there, all right? So once we kind of have some of that leaf out of the way, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my knife and I'll kind of flip it upside down like so you can see. I'm just going to have my knife kind of follow along where the flowerette stem starts to open up, okay? So I'm not going to cut a lot of it here because I don't want to cut all the way through all the good cauliflower, right? But I want to kind of work it around like so, okay? And I'm just going to move that stuff out of the way with my knife. And so what I should have accomplished here, you can kind of see from that angle, is that I have a nice line that I can almost go straight down to get the cauliflower flowerets off there, okay? So from here, we're just going to cut kind of straight down, again, using the tip of my knife, right, nice and easy, okay? Like that. Nice and easy, huh? And then right here too, okay? So then what we have left over here on our board is we have all the kind of pieces of the cauliflower that we'd like to use. And then once you have that stage done, you can figure out how big do I want it. And usually when I do this, I'm gonna kind of just naturally let my hand break it apart, because when you're cooking with vegetables, a couple things to think about, right? You want to make sure that you're cooking something that's kind of bite-sized, because people don't want to necessarily use a fork and a knife to eat their vegetables. So I'm looking at what can I fit in my mouth, and I'm going to break it up about that size. The second thing you got to remember is that it's going to want to cook all together. So if pieces are big and other pieces are small, you're going to have pieces that are undercooked and pieces that are overcooked. So you really want to kind of get those things down to the size that they're all going to kind of cook the same. So I'll use my knife every once in a while, take a piece off. Again, this is a great example here, popping that off. Then I could even get rid of that little piece of stem. And so what I have right here is really good usable cauliflower. And so when we go through all of this, right, we have the nice look, and again with that purple, really nice to use because it's going to really show up, okay? So take that piece off and again break it down, perfect like that, and so forth, okay? So you want to be able to utilize this stuff, especially seasonality-wise, or if you want to do something a little bit different at your house, right? You want to have something that people can get a little bit excited about. So I prefer to do a saute or a roast with this. I will put it in water for a little while to keep its beautiful color. So when you're cooking a purple vegetable like this, you want a little bit of acid. So we'll cook ours with some lemon juice and water, and then we'll saute it or pan roast it at the end for our service, okay? So that's how we're going to prep our cauliflower. So we take all this off to the side, like so, all right, and get all those yummy pieces to feed a couple of people, right? All right, so now we got to get our cauliflower ready. Now we chose that purple cauliflower because, like I said, it looks beautiful. It's not going to have any different flavor, guys, so don't think like it's going to do something magical for you, okay? It's just cauliflower, but it does grow purple like that. And so what we did is we did a little bit of blanching, which means we put it in hot boiling liquid for a couple of minutes with a little bit of acid. In this case, we use lemon juice, and that's just to help set the color, okay? But the flavor that we want is gonna be brown. So if you see here, I got some butter that's just starting to brown up inside the pan, right? You can see it melted like that, all right? So we're gonna wanna get this cauliflower in there and give it just a little bit of browning and roasting, and that'll give us some great flavor, okay? So we get in there and just start moving that around a little, do everything on the stove, into the oven. You see the color, it looks nice, it smells nice, it'll be done, okay? So that sauteed cauliflower.